that was one thing I was going to ask you about too. Do you teach vision differently than other instructors, or your philosophy behind vision? Is it different in any way?
It is a little bit. I think there's a few other instructors that kind of, I don't want to say parrot me, but we have the kind of the same general kind of thoughts and ideas and theories about vision. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't, um, I'm not an advocate of like hard front sight focus with iron sights. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I utilize a more of a target focus, or what I call a soft target focus, to whether I'm utilizing iron sights, which I have predominantly shot for a number of years, which helped me really to kind of just fall right into shooting optics, pistol optics very, 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 very quickly. There wasn't a big learning curve for me because I I never really fell into the indoctrination of hard front sight focus, make sure the front sight is 100% clear and the rear sight's slightly fuzzy or out of focus and the target's out of focus, and learning to aim that way. I've never used that aiming concept.
That's going to be something new for a lot of people. So explain why that is.
So I think for a long time we've used, and when I say a long time, say 50, 60, 80 years or however long we've been teaching people to align, handguns to targets. We've I think the word we've always used, of course, is focus on the front sight. And I think instead of the word focus, we really need to be using the word aware. Be aware of the front sight and
Mm,
being aware of everything beyond just the sights, being aware of the target, being aware of between the sights and the target, being aware of things to the left and to the right of the targets. So softening your vision to
mhm,
not be hard accommodated or hard focused to one particular aspect, but opening your vision to being just more aware of everything. Like I can shoot
mhm,
extremely accurately with a full awareness of the iron sights themselves and the awareness of the sights themselves as a system aligned to the target without
mhm,
having to be 100% fully focused, like hard accommodated to the target or hard accommodated
mhm.
to the sights. And
Well, I
so I,
think you're onto something because when I went from a dot to back to front sights again to hard sights, I actually
Mhm.
was better because I didn't have a hard front sight focus anymore. I was
Sure.
target focused, and I experimented with that, and I was surprised, and
Yep.
it's true. So
And that's
might
the
be
thing. A lot
something,
of it is because again, we're indoctrinated with it, right? Be hard front
right?
sight focus. It's one of the very first things that we tell people, or not me, but it's one of the very first things that a lot of instructors tell, especially very new and very inexperienced shooters. Like, hey, you need to focus on that front sight even harder in order to,
Mhm,
to gain a higher level of accuracy. Well, then when people get even just a small taste of an improvement, they tend to adhere to that, and that becomes a conviction
mhm,
that they'll almost take to the grave with them. So then being told, "Hey, like release that conviction and start to think about things in a much broader sense. Be more aware instead of being more focused on certain things." It scares a lot of folks. And they're like, "No, no,
mhm,
no. I've had, I'm getting some pretty good experience with this." And it's like, okay, but what if we could broaden that and
right.
and and really see some huge gains? And it's going to take people to kind of get out of their own way, or get out of their own
Yeah.
limitations.
Well, and for a defensive shooter as well, we're biologically hardwired to focus our attention on what it is that's trying to kill us.
Sure.
So, for us to train front sight focus and then try to apply that in a self-defense situation just isn't gonna happen. It's
Right.
just not. So, maybe it might be good to not train that. Just maybe.